Alright, hello. Welcome to another Angry Yarns Chop Shop Simulator. Today we're going to take a few vehicles into the shop here, and we're going to exchange more parts, and we're going to trade more vehicle parts around, and we're going to be more of a greasy mechanic. I think we've reached the maximum grease level that we can at this current moment, so I think we're just going to be the grease king or the grease professional king after. Or, we'll find out. Whatever I want to name myself. But we took more cars apart and sent them out with more damaged areas than we had them come in with. We had more parts replaced on vehicles that didn't need to be replaced. And we need an engine not working properly, air filter belt tensioner part not discovered. Part not hello? Someone's got to be there. Who's ever there? Part not discovered, car's loud. Repair gearbox fault, spray it with factory color. Good thing we bought that paint booth earlier so we can give the car a paint job. Now we're gonna bring the car back up out of the hoist, and we're gonna go underneath and see what kind of parts we can interchange. Looks like the exhaust is in pretty bad condition. Do we have one of these laying around? Yeah, we got one. Okay, so we will replace the rear muffler. There we go. Okay, now we're going to go walk over to our computer. We're going to go type into the computer. Muff. Now, middle muff. We need some muff. Alright. I actually do want some muffins now. Would be really good. Replace all gearbox faults. Spray with factory color. What if we sprayed it with the wrong color? Wonder if we could get it to leave the shop. I might try that in the future. It's a good idea. Alright. Okay, now we have to take the drive shaft off to get the gearbox off. We're going to stumble our words while my cat attacks me. She loves to be part of these videos, and you know, today is going to be a little bit of a short video. Today is going to be just me going on about these two vehicles that we're going to go ahead and take apart, and it's going to be quite a fun time. We're going to take this, there we go, this beautiful gearbox off of whatever kind of vehicle we're working on. I don't really know. We get that don't touch me noise a lot of times. We haven't removed the starter yet, so we have to lower the car back down onto the ground, which we have to go back to the proper side to use the hoist. There we are. Now we can lower the car back down. We're going to go back to this vehicle while that car lowers down to the ground. We're going to do a couple parts in here. Maybe we'll have a little look around, see what we can do. Trade out a starter or two. You know, we're going to have to trade out some parts in the gearbox anyways, so we will take everything apart. And we're going to have a little look in here and, you know, take this starter out, and it's going to be good. Put the car back up into the air. Watch that thing go up in the air. It's so beautiful. Let's walk under it while it's still going under. And we're going to take this gearbox off here. We're going to take off this 5 bolts here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yay! Clutch plate, clutch release. Oh, that was down at 1%. Clutch release bearing was down at 1%. Clutch pressure plate, 57%. Clutch plate, 62%. Flywheel, 57%. Replace the flywheel, 5%. Replace the clutch plate with, whatever that was, 57% for this flywheel cover, I think it is. I don't know, I wasn't really looking. Clutch pressure plate, my bad. Clutch release bearing, we cannot replace that with 1%. We needed to actually go there and replace that with the proper condition part. So we are going to have to go to the computer and buy ourselves a new part. Clutch release bearing, 100%. And now we shall go back over to this vehicle. And we're going to go and do an assemble mode. And the gearbox still needs to be purchase, but we're going to give these people the lower condition part, and we have earned $256 so far. Now we need this new gearbox. So we're going to go over to this vehicle over here. We're going to lift it into the air. Alright. I'll take the car, we'll lift it into the air. We're going to go here, we're going to remove the drive shaft. That's 4 bolts at the rear. 4 bolts at the front. And we're going to take all this apart here. Okay, we're going to remove this gearbox. 5 bolts. 4, 3, 5. Oh, there's a lot of bad parts in here, but I think there might be one clutch release bearing that we'll need. We're going to go back here and we're going to finish the job on this vehicle. And we're going to replace this vehicle into assemble mode with this better condition 51%. But we need at least 53% for a part to be able to be replaced onto this vehicle. So that's not going to do. We're going to have to go back over to the computer and we're going to have to go and purchase a gear box 14 rear wheel drive. Go over to the computer. Go back to our beautiful engine. And we're going to replace the gearbox with the brand new one. Yay! Well, whatever. We didn't have one of those lying around, now we do. We're going to replace the drive shaft. Eventually, if we can click on it properly. There we are. And we're going to replace it with the lower condition drive shaft. And there we are, 4 bolts at the rear. And we're going to go to the front on this new handy angle. And 2, 3, 2, 4. Yay. Alright. Looking pretty good. $1,396 we have made so far. Check marks are looking pretty good on that vehicle. We got a bit of stuff to remove here since we opened up this gearbox. So did ourselves a pretty good look at that. It wouldn't have been good enough condition anyways. It was 52%. So we did ourselves a bit of a favor by taking the gearbox off anyways. Ooh. All of this needs to be replaced. Well, I think we have one. 57% needs to be 50% at minimum condition. So flywheel on 57% will be replaced on this vehicle. Now we're going to go over to the computer. We're going to go to the computer. We're going to type fly. And flywheel. For $500, we're going to purchase ourselves a brand new flywheel. We're going to purchase 2 of them just because. We're rich. We got $15,685. Spent $10,000 on the paint booth. And we would have had 20 some odd thousand, but we had to do these paint jobs. So look, air filter, fuel filter, oil filter, belt tensioner, water pump, flywheel, clutch plate, clutch pressure plate, and I don't know, idler, I don't know, some other thing. I missed one. Hard to catch when I click that fast and watch them after. And clutch, pressure, plate. We need one of those. Clutch plate, we need one of these. We already bought the clutch bearing for the other vehicle. No need to buy another one. Now we're going to go over to this beautiful oiled pan and swing back around to the clutch plate. We do have to replace that with a better condition. We do have to replace this clutch pressure plate with a better condition. There we are. We have 5 bolts. Perfect. Clutch release bearing. We're going to put a 52% on there. And this gearbox we're going to dispose onto this vehicle. Ain't that a beauty? Okay. So all the way down to the clutch plate, flywheel, clutch pressure plate, parts not covered, oil filter, fuel filter, and then belt tensioner, timing belt, water pump. We have made $666, $444 spent on the job, $222 earned for a bonus. Isn't that comical? All right. I didn't set that up. That was a video game developer. And we're going to put these 3 nuts into here. Bolts? I don't know. Something. Oh yeah, listen to that wrench. Okay. Lower the car. Yeah. If only a hoist made that sound every time. Engine working but choppy. New timing belt parts. Sloppy steering. I like sloppy steering. I don't like to drive in a straight line. Okay. Gonna remove the cover, I believe. Gonna have a look at the internal parts. See what else is going on inside of this beautiful engine that we have. Oh, don't touch me. We need a pulley off of here. Unknown condition, 60%. We can probably hijack that and replace it with one other part that we have laying around. We're going to remove this cover, this camshaft gear, and we're going to start replacing some parts. This timing belt needs to be replaced, so we're going to go over to this vehicle. We're going to lower this vehicle back down onto the ground here. We're going to have a look inside of this engine here. And we're going to take apart this front of this engine, and we're going to start removing a few belts. We're going to click over here because we need to adjust the camera, but we got the don't touch me noise. I'm going to start pulling off the front of this engine. And the timing cover is what we're after next, but we're trying to get this idler rolly off of here. And we're going to take the timing cover off of here. We're going to get the don't touch me noise because we haven't taken the belt tension off. Now we're going to get the don't touch me noise because we're clicking on the wrong part. Timing belt is 63%, so we can use that. We got a water pump of 62%, so we can use that. Now we're going to go over to the computer, and we're going to purchase a few parts by typing in pump. We're going to type in pump, water pump, $60, pretty cheap. Timing cover. Just kidding. Timing belt. That wasn't bad. Pretty cheap. Now we shall replace this vehicle with the terrible timing belt. And we're going to go back to the computer. I'm going to buy the proper timing belt. Because I realized I purchased the wrong timing belt. That's okay. We're going to have one of those laying around. We're going to dispose of the worst belt tensioner possible. And we're going to replace this with the cover. And we're going to replace this camshaft pulley with the worst condition. We're going to replace the idler rolly, if we can click on it, idler rolly A with the worst condition, 6%. And we shall replace the water pump with the 26%. Looking pretty good. We just have to spray it with factory color. Not bad at all. We get these serpentine belts onto the vehicle. Now we're going to replace this side, or this vehicle. All of these parts. We're still going to dispose of 54% because I believe that we did have to replace the tensioner. And we have the water pump of 51%. Then we have the timing cover. Idler rolly A, we're going to replace with the worst condition we can. We're going to double check that we don't need an idler rolly A that we have discovered yet. So we're going to do the idler rolly A. Idler rolly? I just can't help myself from saying it. Just it rolls off the tongue so nicely. Okay, serpentine belt, and with serpentine belt A. Yeah, looking good. Okay, throttle. Car's filters need replacing. So we shall remove the air filter, held on by 4 clips. And the 4 clips. Air filter, look at how dark that is. I don't know what kind of roads they were driving on. Must have been really bad asphalt roads or something. Okay. Filter base need to be replaced. So we'll go back to this vehicle. We shall remove this filter, the filter cover, and the filter base. And we'll go back to assembly mode. We shall replace with the worst condition filter base, the worst condition filter, and the worst condition cover. I'm going to go back to clips. We shall replace with the worst condition clips. And there we are. We'll do a little bit of a mix maybe, huh? Do one of the worst ones, one of the better ones, another better one. Over here, it's a bit hard to click. And one of the kind of worser ones. Now, I'm going to close the hood. Put this car over to the spray with factory paint. Move it over to the paint booth. We shall go to the paint booth. We're going to repaint the car because it comes choose factory color already. Do you want to paint the car for $500? Yes. We have painted the car. Look at how beautiful that car is. Just beaming with color. Back to garage. Car went back to the center automatically. Now the car, $2,861. Car is complete, missing battery. $1,431. $735 we made. $715 we made for bonus for completing. Times 2. And we're going to replace the battery with the worst condition battery. Replace the starter with the worst condition starter. Close the hood. Send it out, $2,861. Car is in worse condition than it was delivered to the garage. Replace the battery. It's got to be the battery. Okay, we're going to replace the battery with 100% battery. Nope, we're not going to do that. We go back here. We're going to select the engine properly. Going to remove the starter. Going to replace the starter with a better condition starter. Okay. Now, I'm going to go back here. We're going to select... What can we do? Maybe a bushing? Maybe we'll take the engine head cover off and see if we can do something inside the engine. What do we think? Gonna look around. Gonna go over here. Gonna go to this car. Gonna remove the engine head cover. Okay. We almost have the last bolt out. Cover comes right off. Okay, now we're gonna replace the cover. One. We're gonna take this out too. Here, come on. There we are. Now we'll go back to this vehicle. I'm going to take this pump out. We're going to give you the exact same pump. Servo, or whatever you want to call it. We're going to give you the better cover. There we are. We're going to insure number 876. Remove the battery. I'm going to give you 100% battery. We close the hood. $2,861. Yeah! It was just the battery. All right. And the cover. But no, we got away with that. I'm going to remove this battery. 54%. Maybe we could have changed that around, but we'll let them win with the new battery. We just kind of bought an extra one anyways, so you know, that came to help us in the future. So, hey, I'm not complaining. 54% is above the 53. I believe this percentage is required to replace this vehicle with the parts. So this parts that I'm replacing on this vehicle must meet 53%. Only the parts that need to be replaced, not everything else that I'm taking off for absolutely no reason except for to upgrade my broken parts. So what I'm doing is I'm upgrading all of my broken parts by swapping them over with different customers' cars in the future. I have a few steering racks and exhausts, and I got a whole different thing of a whole inventory I gotta get rid of. And I'm slowly doing it. Slowly been upgrading. I'm gonna buy myself an air filter base, air filter, maybe a cover. Kind of deciding. Might do a cover. Might do a base. I don't know. Well, I definitely needed the base, but do I need to cover? We got one part not discovered and a bunch of parts not discovered underneath. A few fuel filters that we need to replace. And we have one laying around. Look at that. Perfect. No problem. We didn't have to order you anything. We can go order ourselves some parts. We'll order ourselves a filter. Now we need a filter. Alright. Go back to our beautiful car. And air filter, oil filter is all we need to do now. So we'll raise the car up into the air because we need to do some parts underneath anyways. Now we got the car in the air. And we're going to do the oil filter. Going to remove that. Going to replace the oil filter with a better condition oil filter. Well, we shall walk over to the computer. We'll type into the computer, oil filter. We already have the oil filter open, so no need to type. We need the one on the far left. Enter. We have purchased an oil filter. And we shall walk over to the car. Okay, part not discovered. What can it be? What do we think? Could be anything on this vehicle. I'm going to lower it back down on the ground. We're going to have a better look inside the engine. Maybe do a bit more tearing every single thing apart for no reason. We do have one of these laying around, so we can kind of upgrade that. Double check the radiator is in bad condition before we, we're going this far. So we'll swap this one out. We got a 52%. We replaced yours with a 4%. And we just got one more part that's not discovered. We go back here. We'll have one look at the fuel pump. 52%, but we can get rid of that 3% we have lying around. We're going to remove the fuel tank just to double check while we're down here, right? Just like the radiator. Going to ensure that we have, now we're going to replace that fuel pump with the garbage one. We've gotten rid of that now. We have removed that problem. Like the throttle or something. One of these or... What's going on in here? I don't even know what this is. Let's take it off. Figure out what's going on here. Come on. That was an intake manifold. Wow. What are these like? Camshaft cap. Pretty good condition. Yeah, everything looks good in here. Let's take it apart. Let's see what the wires are doing. Let's see what the plugs are doing. What's going on in here? Let's take this manifold off. No. No, don't touch me. Ignition wires. Well, nothing else is wrong with the plugs, so... double check all the engine. Double checked everything else, so... Alright. Didn't find any other check marks we need to worry about because the rest are in steering. Gonna replace it with the worst condition parts we have laying around. Now we need to go and replace this manifold. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 2, 2, 5, 6, 5, 7, 8. Kind of 7, 8. Throttle replaced. Fuel rail replaced. Cover. Bearing. I need that crankshaft bearing over here. Trying to get a better zoom over there. Take a look at the wires. I'm gonna go buy new wires instead. Gonna go back to the computer. Type into the computer. We will get wires. Need ignition wires of 14 SOC, I believe. Then we'll walk back to our beautiful vehicle. We'll go to here. Go back to assemble mode. Gonna replace the wires. And we will do a bit of looking around. Just going to do a bit of hovering there for a second. And I'm going to replace with the 100%. You know, we could go switch it with the other wires on the other car, but might do that in the future. Engine head cover has been replaced. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 6. Okay. Looking good. We got a lot of check marks going on. We got a lot of parts not discovered in the sloppy steering. Huh? Now we gotta go down and check out the sloppy steering. Oh yeah, we got rid of the other car. Never mind. Can't just swap the wires around. We had to go buy new wires. Now we need a new car. Okay. What's this? This one's on the first on the list, but I don't know. Maybe we'll do it. We gotta do another paint job. So it's really making us work for this paint job. We're gonna take this last one maybe. Looking like a really cool car. We might take it and just kind of do a separate video on that one after. And just kind of see what we can do. Okay. M8. M8. Mate. Main. I don't know. We're just gonna take we're gonna take the job. We're gonna go move the car over to the lifter. After we have a little look. Kinda at the underneath there, and you know, there are a lot of parts that we do have to change out, and some things we're gonna go have to purchase, so we may find a second vehicle after. And we may find to see if like another V8 pops up that we can do an interchange with. Hello? Yeah. There we go. We might be able to do a bit of an interchange with this, but it says it has general gearbox problems, and you know, we might not be able to do it, but we're going to save it, and we're going to do those two together, I believe. We'll see. Okay, now we'll get this rim off of here. We're going to get the rim off of the car after we walk over here and kind of do a bit of an inspection here. And you know, there's not too much I could interchange. There's a few things, but no, it might be better just to save this and do a complete swap over. We'll see. Now we just need sloppy steering, right? We got seven parts. I had to do a bit of an edit there. That's why the video did a bit of a glitch. Now we are back together. And we have this vehicle that we're going to start tearing apart. We do have parts that we could probably replace here. So we're going to go ahead and just go back to disassemble mode. We have to take the tire off anyway, so we might as well start there, right? Go back to the tire. Go back to this beautiful steering and steering knuckle, and then the attached shock to it. So we're going to have a look at the attached shock. We're going to see what kind of stuff we're going to take off from the sway link. And we're going to remove the sway link. Or we're going to see what we can replace with the sway link after we take the sway link off of the front end. And now we shall remove the outer tie rod. And we shall remove the inner tie rod. See how we're talking about the steering rack, how we should have replaced it in the other vehicle, but you know, now we're going to have a couple of them laying around, and we're going to have to do all of these in the future, which is, you know, it's okay. Just more work and more parts, so we have to keep interchanging, and pretty soon we're going to have to disassemble entire vehicles that come in just to move around a few percentage on the parts, but that's okay. We're going to slowly upgrade, right? It's a slow process. Okay, while that went up, we went ahead and look at the other car. We're just going to show you the other car. Now we're going to go back to this car. And we got a 61%. Now we need at least 50% to be replaced on this vehicle. So we do have a steering rack in kind of good enough condition. we were able to just kind of throw onto this vehicle. So we threw it onto this vehicle. Now we're going to go type rock into our beautiful computer for $800. We purchased a rack for $800, and now we're going to put the rack into this vehicle. Drive it home. Now we have this inner tie rod. Ooh. We have a lot of those we need to dispose of. We have outer tie rods. We have, a couple of those we need to dispose of. Let's see what kind of check marks we get going on here. So always double check on your check marks. Now we need sloppy steering. Inner tie rod. We have one more of those to replace. But we got the okay so far. So it's the outer tie rod that we didn't do very well on. I'm just going to give them a better condition one. Make it all okay. Now we're going to go back to our other side of the vehicle. And we shall start doing a bit of disassembly over here. Or we'll go back to assembly over here. We will replace outer tie rods. Just give them 100%. Make the car a little better. Go back to this beautiful computer. Since we're going to buy ourselves new parts, we're able to spare the couple 100% laying around. So in the future, we can do all of the rods and whatnot. We should have just typed rod, I believe, in the beginning, but that's okay. Get one of those, get one of the other ones, and it's fine. And we're gonna go back to this beautiful front end here, and we're gonna do a little bit of clicking around. We're gonna get ourselves to the other side, and we have everything kind of complete that we need complete. Do a bit of examining. We don't do any examining, so we're just kind of have a little look and see what condition everything's in. We can do a bit of upgrading. We can do a bit of tearing apart here and see if it's completely worth our time. We do have all these parts laying around. So, we'll take a bushing out. We're going to remove this one. We're going to have a look and, 60%. This one's in 56%, so we may have a couple laying around that are not in very good percentage. Nope. Just the two that we removed. So, might be worth doing the knuckles, though. We'll have a look. May do it, may not do it. Probably not, but... Here's a rubber bushing. Just having a look at them all. I know I'm not really going to be able to do anything with them, but still want to have a kind of a look. Getting pretty used to removing them regardless, so be sure that I'm not missing any bushings I need to be replaced, and yeah. Things aren't looking too bad under here. So it has some okay parts, but it's not, looking the best, right? Might be a shock we can steal. There might be a spring we can kind of upgrade. And a cap we can do. We're going to kind of take this apart here. Go back to assemble mode. It wasn't really worth the base. Wasn't really worth the spring. And the cap wasn't really worth it. The shock was worth it. Oh yeah. Got rid of that one. Okay. Perfect. Perfect. Now we'll go back to the front of the vehicle here. I'm going to do a bit of a disassembly maybe. Kind of have a look around. Take that examine mode out. 58% for the sway bar. Front leak is looking pretty good. Yeah, things aren't too bad. Sloppy steering. We do have two parts that are not discovered yet. Oh, that wasn't that, so... Okay, we'll put the shock absorber back in. We got the 2 bolts that we put in the very bottom. There we are. We got the link replaced, and we have the front shock absorber replaced. And we're just going to go over back to this side. We're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to remove the link, and we're going to remove the front shock absorber, because we like to take apart every single part. So we're going to do it. Now we're just going to replace the front shock absorber. 55%. We're going to put 2 bolts into here. We put this front shock absorber cap into the top, and then we have a garbage one. We're going to worry about the link later. He's got himself under control. Going to put this cap back under here. Going to go back to the sloppy steering, part not discovered yet. Wonder what it could be. Going to place the car back down onto the ground. Going to go back into the engine. It's not bad. We already took that off before. Going to replace it. Okay. What about the ABS pump? What kind of condition are these in? ABS module. It's pretty good condition. Well, we don't have any new parts that have been discovered. We're just going to replace these garbage parts anyways. So, you know, took it off and we did a bit of an upgrade for ourselves. If anybody has seen the problem, it was just visible in the last frame. And we'll find it, but don't you worry. Well, I was a little tired of this time, so it's going to take me an extra couple minutes of clicking around here and figure it out. I'll feel real stupid after, don't you worry. We're just going to have a look at the brake caliper, and we're going to look at the front end, and we'll remove the brake caliper. We're going to remove the pads. Pads are a little tricky to tell all the time just because you're... Don't touch me, don't touch me, don't touch me. Just because they look a little rusty from the outside. Just kind of like that one does. But we got lots of brake calipers we can go around and replace, so we might as well go around and replace those while we're investigating. So replacing the old parts that we have laying around might help us find out what the problem is. So we do go around to all sides of the vehicles. We got 4 calipers. So we're going to go around to every single caliper. And we're going to replace all of the calipers on here. So maybe by removing the tire, you might have more access to more visible parts here. But we're going to take the caliper off. Brake pads are not good. Or brake pads are good. They're not going to be any good to us. The rear drive axle and everything is good back here. And, you know, the only thing we could steal is a caliper, but go back and do that after. We kind of forgot about that. We're going to do an investigation on here. Front wheel hub. Everything is good. So everything's looking great on the front end. There's nothing red that we have to worry about. Just only the red that we replaced. Everything red there is what we did. But it's not a big deal. So, we'll go back, do a bit of more searching. And we've almost found the problem, but we're just going to go and have a little search in the front end. Everything that in the front end, you know, looks great. It's in yellow condition. You got a couple green spots up there. So nothing to worry about. We're just going to, you know, we'll raise the car up into the air. We're going to have a little look under the car. Can't do anything with that. I'm just going to keep, don't touch me, don't touch me. We haven't removed enough parts, but we'll do a bit of an examination. All of this is good. We can't do anything by that, so we have to just kind of worry about what we have underneath here. So Nothing really in the front that I'm seeing, so we're going to go back here. Oh, there's a bit of suspension there. What is that? What do you think that could be? We got to go click over here. It's giving us a don't touch me noise. So we're going to go over to disassemble. Going to remove this caliper. Going to remove the brake pads. Okay, we're going to go back to examine and double check all the disc. Double check all the housing. Got all the hub. Can't do the shock absorber. Can do the control arms. Can't do the U. You can do the U-bolt, spring, and you can do the plate. So that'll kind of help you tell if you're missing anything. We'll go ahead and do the brake pads here. We're going to replace with the old brake pads. And we're going to replace the caliper with the garbage caliper that we have laying around there. Going to replace this tire. Rim Classic, 52%. And we have all 5 bolts in. Now we do. We go back here. Take this off. Remove this part. We'll remove this part. And we're going to remove the plate. We're going to go click to the other side. We're going to start disassembling the U-bolt on this side. Take out the 2 bolts. Take out the 2 nuts. Take out the 2 nuts here. Take out the 2 plate, the plate on the very bottom. Click over to the other side. We're going to go back to assemble mode. Going to replace with the 53% because that is over the 50% that we need. Going to replace this garbage one onto this side. Come on. Get that second nut onto there. And we're going to go click over to sloppy steering. All we need is 1 more U-bolt to be replaced. We have the rest of the spring plate. Need to replace with the 54%. And we got $1,281, $640 for a bonus that we have received. So $1,281 and $640 times 2 is what we have received for a payment on this vehicle here. Well, that we will receive after we replace all of these parts with garbage parts that we have laying around. Or some parts that we have removed from this vehicle that unfortunately we have to put back onto the vehicles because we don't have enough garbage parts laying around. And the vehicles won't take, you know, a lot of garbage parts on them. I think we probably are at almost at the maximum of garbage parts that we could dump onto this vehicle, but you know, we're doing a pretty good job. Just gotta get this other tire onto here. And we're going to replace this link. Ensure that we actually put the vehicle back together in 100% condition this time so we don't have to mess around with it. We're going to put this front driver's side tire on. Going to get all the bolts into here. And everything is looking pretty okay in the front end. You know, everything looks alright. Nothing too bad. We got all the tie rods together. Gonna have to do some purchasing after. I'll do some purchasing in the start of the next video. Just go around and purchase a bunch of random stuff. I'm not even gonna go through a list or nothing. I'm just gonna, whatever I can remember is what I'm gonna go purchase, and that's gonna be that. And there we are. So things are looking pretty well together. We're gonna go ahead and get the car back down on the ground so the customer doesn't drive it off the hoist. Maybe we'll close the hood. We're going to try it for $2,561. We got all the check marks. We found all the parts. There we are. Finished job. $2,561. Thank you. Have a great night. I hope everyone takes care. Thank you very much for watching the videos. Stay safe. Drink something. Eat something.